As the person that's a running coach, you were mentioning before that you're kind of a therapist, you're kind of a personal trainer, a weightlifting coach. When you're thinking about somebody having goals, like how do they arrive at the goals that they have? Because I think there are a lot of people who are like, I don't have any goals for running. I don't want to get faster. I don't want to get. Why is it that somebody ever comes up with a goal that they want? What have you learned about that from working with people?
Yeah, no, goals are, and so like, I'll clarify, like, my job is running specific, but I kind of wear different hats in the sense that, we're going to incorporate strength training. We're going to incorporate, the mental side of things. But first and foremost, I always stay in my lane, and so if there's something like that a runner needs that I coach, they need more specific instruction on strength training. They need more specific instruction on mental strategies. We're going to refer that out, just like referring out to your wife when it comes to, somebody having an injury and they needing to work on something and strengthen those areas. But to answer your question, I think when it comes to goals, a lot of people in life have specific goals that are like, okay, Vance, like your goal might be, I want to run, we'll just make up a time. I want to run a 15-minute 2-mile, which you might go out the door every single day and work towards that 15-minute 2-mile, which is great. But a lot of it, like when you run that 15-minute 2-mile, will depend on, is the weather nice? Did you have the right conditions? Did you have people to run with? And so there's a lot of things that have to go right for you to be successful in that goal. And so if you only measure on one specific goal on that specific day and you don't hit it, then all that work you put in might not be, like what you thought was, beneficial. You might not have that same confidence in yourself. So I always encourage people to have more process goals. And so when somebody's coming to me, they're like, I don't know what kind of goals I should have in this sport. I ask them, okay, so like, what are you looking to get out of running? Like, what are you looking to get out of exercise? And most of the time they're going to say like, yeah, of course I want to train and I want to run the Boston Marathon, or I want to train and I want to, do the best I can this upcoming race. But a lot of times they're going to say, I want to be happy. I want to be healthy. I want to be able to do this consistently for a very long time. And so a lot of the goals that I suggest for people are having process goals. And that's something that we can control. Obviously, if you break your leg, you're not going to be able to meet a process goal, but it's going to be something like, okay, I just want to run 5 days a week for a month straight, and I want to feel healthy doing it. And if you do that and you get through a month, I promise you they're going to get faster, and they're going to get faster without even thinking about having to get faster. They're going to be thinking about, oh, I want to be healthy. I want to be strong. And so many of the goals that I encourage people to have is just based on doing your best to have these goals that are empowering yourself, opposed to setting yourself up for disappointment. If you have one specific goal, it doesn't go that way, because we've all been there. I think we've all had that. We've had a great, training cycle or personal training, whatever that is. And then we can't see the value of success in ourselves. And the reality is that no matter what happens on that given day, there's always going to be another goal. And if you want to have the confidence to be able to continue to excel in your life and progress, you've got to be able to keep building yourself with positive momentum. And I think that's why process goals in a lot of ways are beneficial for everybody.
Man, I really resonate with process goals. I think that those, because you can fall into that false trap of like the person that says, hey, I want to run a marathon or I want to do an Ironman, and they imagine that their life will somehow be better when they're done doing that thing. And so they forget they're just trying to endure the journey in order that they can get to that thing, so that way life will be better. And I realized when I decided that I was going to run 500 miles, and it was just a totally like pulled it out of the air, because I was like, how would you ever become a runner? Because I'm not a runner. I don't see myself as a runner. I know how you would become a runner. If you ran 500 miles in a single year, then you could call yourself a runner. And I was like, okay, then that's what I'm going to do. And over time, by just trying to fulfill that mileage, I quit being, once I knew I could achieve it, then it was just like, all right, I'm just going to go out there and keep doing this. And it was what I became that made running far more enjoyable than any other time I'd ever run, where I was like, I want to get this mile time, or I want to get this far. It was really, really different for me. So I really like your process goal idea.
No, and it's cool even just hearing that from you, because, I think, for the most part, a lot of the people that I work with, they're finding the sport later in life. Maybe they didn't necessarily run for fun, growing up or in high school. They might have this negative connotation behind it because it was a punishment. And then they get, down the road and they need to choose exercise. And they're like, okay, like, I want to run, but then like you said, they don't consider themselves a runner, and to get that perspective to see how everybody kind of falls into their journey. And that's something I always tell people when they first start. It's like, stop being so hard on yourself of what you think a runner is and what a runner isn't, because some of the best runners in the country right now, some of them have crazy untraditional stories. Like they didn't all run in high school and college. Some of our best marathoners, like they picked it up later. They played other sports and they transitioned later in their career to doing this. So I think that's what's so cool about our sport, is that you can do it for a really long time. And running doesn't have to be about competition. Like I train, a lot of people who, are looking to get faster, or looking to improve their goals. But there's tons of people out there that would rather have goals like yourself, like you were saying, like, I just want to run X amount of miles and I want to be healthy doing it. And I think that's something that, at least for me, I feel like, like my thing that I feel like I'm overly, passionate about, on my soapbox about, is just trying to share this sport outside of just people thinking of it as running. I want people to really feel like it can be whatever you want it to be, and let it empower you in whatever way that is. And that doesn't have to be you have to train for a marathon. It doesn't have to be that you run 2 miles. It can be whatever that is. But anybody that's participating in this exercise and building a routine around it has their own journey, and that's what matters most.
Thanks for checking out this podcast short. If you like this interview, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and hit that bell so you always get notified about this podcast. And if you're really interested in conversations like this, you may want to consider joining the Articulate Ventures Network. To find out more, go to network.articulate.ventures.